What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on Ace Bailey. And as you may already know, Ace Bailey was drafted, I think it was drafted number 5 by the Utah Jazz, right? And Ace Bailey said no to the Utah Jazz. He don't want to go to Utah. He had a list of teams that he preferred to go to. I think New Orleans, the Pelicans was one. I think the Wizards was one, and it was one other team. But I think it was the Brooklyn Nets. I think it was, right. And so I don't know why he chose those teams. Maybe because he went to Rutgers. Rutgers is on the East Coast, and maybe that's where he want to be. Somewhere on the East, up and down the East Coast. I don't know. Um, and I'm kind of thinking that's what it is. From Rutgers. But anyway, I'm not sure how I feel about this kid, Ace Bailey, telling Utah no, he don't want to go there, right? And I think that, in my opinion, I think he's taking a big gamble. You know, we just seen Deion Sanders, Shador Sanders, drop his stock drop, right? And so it just seems to me that, like, when you start to make these kind of moves, these teams, they will hold on to this, and they say find a kind of way to make you pay for these type of decisions. And so I think for Ace Bailey, I seen a little bit of him in college. I thought he was okay. I didn't think he was like, he was, but I don't know. I mean, he feel like, he got that kind of leverage. He can do that. Um, I would hate, I would hate to see a kid, get this type of opportunity and overplay his hand. You know, like, in order to make it to the NBA, that's a 1 in a million shot that you have in making it to the NBA. So it's like having a lottery ticket, and then you got to be careful how you handle that lottery ticket, and then you'll lose this opportunity. And I know that sometimes with these kids, like nowadays, they have that NIL money, right? And so now they have that NIL money, and they think that they have leverage. Some people said that, while he was at college, he made upwards of around $2 to $3 million. And two to, that's a lot of money. But when you're talking about generational wealth and a lifetime, like that $2 to $3 million is just not leverage. It's especially, it's not the leverage that he may think that it is. And so, like I said, I hope that this kid is not overplaying his hand, when it comes to turning down. And as a matter of fact, they said that he didn't even work out, for teams in the NBA. So I don't get these kids, man. um you know I just hope that, like I said, he's not overplaying his hand, and this don't backfire on him, because he would feel so bad that if this type situation, this opportunity slipped through his hands, and he didn't get to play, or something happened, man, and then he just lose this opportunity. Even Paul George said, that he would advise this guy to at least wait until he get his foot in the door before before you start making demands. You have to be, you got to make sure you have leverage before you start using leverage. He's not even in the door. And so the process is, they pick you to come play for their team. And there's only a handful of guys that get picked every year. And so there are many more guys who didn't get chosen than there are guys who got chosen. And so, they can, a team, or not just a team, but a league can easily pass on him and go to somebody else. So that's why, like, I'm just saying, if it was me, you know, and any team that I got drafted to, I probably would be happy, just to go to that team. Um, and just try to make the best of the situation. You're there to do a job. You don't have to go out and socialize. As a matter of fact, the more you focus on your job, the better player you'll be. So, so if he don't think there's no nightlife or anything like that in Utah, that's probably a good thing. If there's no places for him to hang out and go, and be a distraction and waste time, then that'll be a good thing for him. Then that he can focus on his job. And then if he, after his contract is up, if he don't like it, then he can go somewhere else. He'll have more leverage that way. He'll have more leverage. If he go there, he go to Utah, and he play hard, and he'll have more leverage. And who knows, he may even like it there because, like I said, Utah probably don't have the distractions that a place like New York or LA will have, so I don't know, man. I just hope that this situation is not a situation where this kid just, he just let this opportunity slip through his hands. I know that Steve Francis, when he came out of from the Maryland Terps, and he got drafted by a team. I don't know if he got drafted by Toronto and didn't want to go there, or he got drafted by, or he wound up in Houston, right? He wound up with the Houston Rockets, but yeah, it's a big gamble, and it's not like this hasn't been done before. And like I said, but you do, as you do want to be careful coming into the league. Um, like your main thought, really, and my main thought process would be like get on a team, make a name for myself, solidify my position on a team in the league, and then you know what I mean. Whatever leverage you have, then you can exercise your leverage and stuff like that. But I don't know. Maybe he feel like that he already had leverage and he proved himself in college, and so I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, like I said, this thing won't backfire on him. And yeah, that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next episode. Peace.